Let's first understand how to do simple animations without any gestures. Animations give some nice visual polish for your app. It's not a required thing, but it does make the app feel truly native. Let's think about a simple thing that we can animate in our app. There are many things that could use some animation. For example, we do the transitions between screens without any animations so far. Usually, native apps use animated transitions. That's one thing we can do here. But I'll go with a simpler example and animate the initial bake sale header word that we displayed while waiting on the initial deals to arrive from the server. Let me actually comment out the AJAX call right here. Refresh. So this is the initial view. So maybe the server gets loaded and that AJAX call to fetch the initial deals takes a few seconds. It would be cool to show some kind of animation on the screen here. Let's just bounce the bake sale word back and forth horizontally between the edges of the screen. I think that would look cool. The animated library that comes with React Native has an excellent API to declaratively define powerful on-screen animations. The word declaratively in the previous sentence is important, and it means basically that we don't have to worry about how the animation is carried out under the hood, which is not an easy thing, especially in React Native because the animation has to happen natively and not through any state within the JavaScript thread. Thankfully, the animated API will take care of the how, and all we need to specify is the what to animate, and what motion effects and durations to use. The important thing to remember here is that when we animate something with the animated library, we will not be causing React's render method to be called repeatedly to perform that animation. The animation will happen on the UI thread behind the React Native bridge. Only defining the animation happens in the JavaScript thread. There are a lot of things to learn about the animated API. We can spend a full course on just that, but let me go over the basics. First, we need a value to animate. For example, in the bouncing animation that we are planning to do, the value to animate would be the X position for the bake sale word. But the value to animate can be anything. You can animate a color, a size, or an angle, for example. We also need the value to transition to. So we will be going from one value to another value over some period of time. If, for example, the X position starts with 0, we can animate the transition to, say, 100 over a period of 1 second, and that would move the word 100 pixels on the screen during that 1 second. We can also control the speed and acceleration of the animation. This is known as the easing of the motion, and React Native has built-in functions to use for many easing types. To create an animated value, we can use animated.value for a single value, or animated.valueXY if we want to animate two values together. For our example, we just need to animate a single value. There are three main animation types that we can use with animated. Timing is the popular one, probably because it's very configurable with the easing functions. We can only animate these special components here. So if we need to animate an image, for example, we would need to replace the regular image component with this animated.image component. The animated API is one of those APIs that you can only understand by example. There are a few very good resources out there about it. On top of that list is an article by my friend Nader here, who is a very experienced React Native developer. This is one of his many articles on Medium that explain React Native concepts pretty well. Check the animated examples he presented here to get some more confidence about the API. Are you ready to do our own example and see how to use the animated API to implement the bouncing effect for the app loading screen? We are going to do that in the next video.